Hey. So check this out. This video is going to be a little bit unorthodox. Um, and I say unorthodox based on what I typically am sharing and teaching and talking about in general, I guess, on my live streams. But this is something I actually wanted to do a couple of weeks ago. I never got it done, but I said, what the heck, I can still do it, and someone may find value in it still, right? So if you haven't seen already, you probably see it on the screen now. I'm going to be sharing really quick 3 alternatives to traditional vision boarding. So, couple of things. If you are here watching with me live, do me a favor and say, hey, D. Hopefully, I will be able to see it. Sometimes it's a little iffy. If I can't see it here, then I'm going to get back on social, um, back in the app. I will make sure to come back through and show you some love. If you happen to be catching the replay, it's fine. I'm doing this for you too, right? Because I'm kind of going live at and also unorthodox hour as well. So if you catch the replay, do me a favor and just type replay, or you can say hey B as well, and I'll come back through and show you some love as well. And if maybe this was shared with you, or you're seeing this somewhere I didn't post it originally, and maybe you don't know who I am, I'm glad that our paths have crossed this way. I know it's not by happenstance. I'm Danielle the coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach, and I help primarily entrepreneurs that are still juggling a 9 to 5 to quit without regret and leap into full-time entrepreneurship unapologetically and create the life of their wildest dreams, right? So today, I want to talk about 3 alternatives to vision boarding. At the time of this recording, the new year is just underway. And I know that if there is anybody, there's at least one person that didn't do the vision board that they wanted to do before the new year hit. And so I want to let you know that if that's you, that all is not lost. There is still hope. And we can always gain ground and make up for lost time. So I'm going to share 3 ways. And maybe you've thought about these. Maybe you've done one or some, or maybe you've done none. But I do want to know like what resonates with you. And if you plan to take one of the alternative approaches, then I'm getting ready to share it with you. So the first one is to, instead of the burden of creating a brand spanking new vision board, like for another year, reuse or update a pre-existing vision board if you have one, right? It could be a year old, it could be a couple of years old, right? And what I believe is that the big vision, some of the desires that we have, they don't necessarily change year after year if we haven't satisfied them, right? If we haven't checked the box. So you're really kind of recreating the same board almost, and maybe adding some new desires year to year, right? So to kind of alleviate the stress of, let's say you're a magazine cutter, and the process and the time that it takes to like vision board the way you may like imagine or desire to do it, just go update pre-existing boards, right? And maybe you've checked some things off of that board, right? That's fine, right? That shows progress. Um, I guess you can do this if it's not already filled to the brim, right? So one of the ways that I have done this is I have actually gone back, and there's a board that I did do cutouts with words and pictures and whatnot. And so I desired to work smarter, not harder. And I said, I'm just going to add to this board. So I've added um, like words and terms that are reminders for me of what the desires are that I have. And so because I'm a stickler with like dates and data, I'm a math major, like, and I'm unapologetic about it. I like to be able to like calculate things. And so when I've gone in and have written words, added words to the existing vision board, I've also added the date because I want to be able to go back and say, well, okay, oh, I did that. And how, let me see, when did I first put this on the board? How long did it take? Or it took me this long, or man, that didn't take long at all. I just wrote that up there, right? So that's a shortcut way to still kind of check the box, just reassess what is still a desire, remind yourself of some things you said you wanted, but that maybe have been deprioritized or that you've forgotten about, right? It's just a healthy exercise, and actually something that you can do throughout the year as well. As you continue to grow and flourish and expand your horizons and get in touch with your inner self and learn more about who you are, what you really, really want, and what brings you joy, excuse me, then you can go up there and to that existing board and update it in that way. The second thing that you can do is you can leverage the saved folders or collections, depending on which social media platform you prefer. You can leverage your saved folders or collections to create a literal vision board. And so I'll be honest with you, the app that I love the most for this is Instagram, because Instagram is based on pictures. That we remix it to tell whatever stories and get across whatever messages we need. But Instagram is a an app that is based around pictures. And so there's always pictures of some sort on your timeline, especially pictures and imagery catered to what it is that you view the most, thanks to the algorithms. So what I've done is I have created in my Instagram app, I have a saved folder or collection, if you will, and it's called visualization. Just make it simple for myself. So if I see something that like just stops my scroll and I'm like, oh, yes, desire. Yes, I want that. Yes. And it could be anything from what I envision in my dream home on the interior, cars, excursions, exotic vacations, luxury, things that I want to do that might not be extravagant, but whatever it might be, right? Whatever I see, and I'm just like, oh, yep, I want that at some point, at some time, preferably sooner than later. I save it to my visualization collection and I go about my business. Now, when I'm really on my A game, I go and view that visualization folder. I scan it on a daily basis, like once a day, like when I'm on my A game, right? I do well, right? But I have my seasons when I am very intentional about looking at my visualization folder. And there's times when I kind of like fall off. But either way, it's always there. And I'm always adding to it. And I find myself also removing stuff from it as well, which I think is a very healthy exercise because, we grow, we change. Some things that were attractive and appealing and desirable in one season aren't anymore. So it's just like, let's not have it take up space. Let me remove it from the visualization process to make room for maybe something else or to make room for whatever is already there. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is you can make a journal, right? So I've done this too. I have one. And I have a literal laundry list that I've created. I read this somewhere. I can't remember where. If I could, I would tell you. But the objective was to create a list of like 5,000 things that you want to do, want to experience, whatever, right? And I'm like, that's a lot. And I think the number is 5,000. I don't want to misspeak, but just go with me for a second. So I accepted the challenge and I said, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I think my first go round, I probably got to like a couple hundred. And the exercise is super simple, right? Even though it's no imagery, I'm literally just writing down what I want to experience, what I want, how I want things to look like, line item by line item by line item. I'm now up to like 400 and something. I think my number is 417. And at the outset, it seems like it may be super daunting. Like there aren't 5,000 things that I want. There aren't even 400 things that I want. But when you get down to the minutia in the detail of the things that you want, the list grows quickly, right? So let's just take a house, for example, because it's just an easier thing to conceptualize. So you want a house, you want how many bedrooms, right? What kind of countertops do you want? What kind of flooring would you like? what kind of window treatments, all of the things. What do you want the cabinets to look like? So when you start talking details, right, the details of the overarching desire began to build out your list. But that also is a process of visualization, right? Because you have to see the things that you desire and really kind of like feel it in your mind before you can even write it down. You got to know what it is. So it's kind of like I won't say reverse engineered visualization. Like it's definitely an alternative to vision boarding, right? So those are the three things. The first one was to reuse or update an existing board, just add to it. The second thing is to leverage the collections that you have in your social media channels or your saved folders, whatever your favorite social media platform that you're on the most, where you see content that inspires you. I Instagram in this season will always win for me just because it's based on pictures. It just makes the most sense. And I've created a visualization folder, and that's where I put things that I see that I love that I desire. Um, at some point in my life, I throw them in the folder and keep it moving. And the last thing is to create a laundry list of things that you want, right? The goal is 5,000. I pray that that's the right number. And if y'all find the book or you know what I'm talking about, let me know. I cannot think of it right now, but just write a list. It's a never ending, ongoing list. So let it be open ended with no intention of it um, having like a finite end number. Like unless you hit the 5,000, great, you can stop then. But just jotting down what it is that you want, right? In every detail is a new line item. Think about it that way. And then don't do it for naught. Go back time after time as time passes and look at your list. Like that's the fun part of it because I'm telling you, the vision board that I've gone back and updated and just added stuff to with dates, I've come back and I was just like, I've seen this in real life. Like I checked the box. The list that I've written, there's some things that I've just wanted to do, and I've gone to town, just like letting my mind run free. I've come back sometime later, and my goodness, some of the things that I've checked off, and a whole lot sooner than what I anticipated, right? But I was able to see it here, and I'll say set it and forget it to some degree, right? Because some things are just super top of mind, and some things are like, yeah, in this lifetime I want to do it, but let me go ahead and mark my word now in my list. So, yep, those are the three things. If you are here with me live, do me a favor, say hey D. If you happen to have been catching the replay, do me a favor. You can say hey D too, or replay. And if any of those like resonated with you, you plan to leverage one of those for your own personal purposes to kind of get caught up in the midst of like the new year, or whenever you're watching this, right? Because you can create your vision board, or establish and set your vision at any time of year. But I know at the beginning of the year is when we like to kind of start with a cleaner slate. So let me know which one you liked, loved, or that you may be implementing yourself, okay? And I'll be checking the comments. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, and if you know somebody that needs to hear this or see this, hit the share button and let them know, okay? Talk to you soon.